1990s. Hope you're ready to have some fun. From class, we already discussed about the ENIAC built in the 1940s. Can any of you remember how much electricity it used? I sure hope so. It took as much as a city block. In the following two slides, you'll see pictures of the ENIAC. Remember, the ENIAC was considered one of the first computers ever to be built, used during World War II. In the 1950s, IBM, a computer company, one of the originals, sold its first business computer. This type of computer, compared to the average computer sold in 2006, had about 1/20th of the power. Isn't that incredible? That less than 60 years ago, one of the first business computers was released. Consider how quickly technology has evolved. Simply amazing. In this slide, you can notice a man staring at one of the first supercomputers created by IBM in the mid-1950s. A supercomputer is different from a personal computer. They are extremely fast. However, if you look at the configuration of the first supercomputer, you might not think it was that powerful, but during that time, it was incredibly great. During the 1960s, time-sharing computers came into play. A time-sharing computer is when a computer is positioned in a room, and from that computer comes little desk-like cubicles. And in those desk-like cubicles, there are what you would compare to a typewriter-looking type of machine. However, that typewriter machine is really part of the computer. And individuals would sit at that little cubicle area and perform or enter inputted data. That data would be transmitted into the computer, and then the process, and then it would be outputted onto paper at the person's little cubicle. To give you an idea of what one looked like, let's look at the next slide. This is an image of a time-sharing computer. Notice that the little terminal or cubicle the girl is sitting at is she's working on an input device for the computer. Remember, her input device is not a typewriter. It is actually part of the computer. When she inputs the data, it is being sent to the computer that is behind that wall. The computer is processing the data and outputting it on the paper that you see on her input device. Time-sharing computers were cool because they gave people the sense of having their own computer. Here's a look at another supercomputer, this one from the 1960s. Notice this memory size, and consider how much it cost in 1966. $10 million to create, and it could only process 3 million instructions per minute. Now, 3 million instructions is a lot, but for a supercomputer, today's are incredibly faster. As the 1960s turned into the 1970s, and computing became more popular within the business realm, connecting computers came into play. You see,